Hi, it's Liz. Today we're going to be doing some dyeing of paper with different types of tea and the process behind it. So this is how we're starting off with just plain white paper, and then these ones are different methods, but you can see they turned out really well, and I'll show you the process through it. Alright, so we're going to start off with using orange pekoe tea. I used about 4 to 5 bags in some hot water. I waited for it to completely cool, and I have 2 containers. So I'm just dipping the paper into the tea and then putting it into a different container, and I'm crumpling it up, doing different methods to see what will work. I'll crumple it up really tight. Some of them I'll crumple them up really loose. I've folded some and I'm just stacking them in this container. So 2 separate containers, one for the tea and then one to put it in the papers. Now you can see a stencil. I'm dripping tea over the stencil to give it more defined areas with the tea, and then I'm just stacking over that stencil. So more paper, and I'm just going to continue this method until I'm happy with how many papers, depending on how long it dries. This is all an experiment for me. So I'm just stacking and adding more papers. I put it by the fire because we are in October right now, so it is not warm outside. So I'll see how long this takes. So I just wanted to show you, these are the papers for the orange pekoe. It took a full day for this many papers to dry, and these ones still don't feel completely dry. I think it's in front of the fire, so it has really good heat, but because it was inside this container, I flipped it over to try to get more of it to be more dry. This is the English breakfast tea. So we'll first have a peek at the orange pekoe one and see how they did. So the crumpled up one does have a couple tears, but I think that's just because they were wet for so long. But I think if we left them, they would be good. I crumpled this one up really fine on the first go. It's still a little bit damp. So I probably wouldn't crumple it like this. And I probably have to wait again because it's still, like right here, still really damp and can be torn really easily. Ooh. Yeah, so I wouldn't crumple it. I don't think there's any benefit to crumpling it up really tight. Oh, that's a nice one. It's got nice stains where the crinkles are. So this one definitely ripped a lot more, and has some holes. This one still feels kind of damp in the middle. And then I just folded up the piece of paper so it has some nice lines. I mean there's nice technique into the crumpling, but I think the folding up has some better properties of textures and patterns. I mean, it does look different than the crumpled up, but we'll see when we iron it out. And these are the ones that had stencils in it. Because I flipped the paper, some of the stencils got moved, and like this one fell out. So you can see that stencil. Here's another one. A little bit of ripping, but not bad. That's just a piece of paper. This one still feels a little bit damp on the edges. Here's one with the stencil. still a little bit damp. I think also because we're kind of in the middle, we're about 5 pages in. So this will still have to go back to, you can see right here, that's still damp. So this will still have to go back to the fire. All right, so I just checked the temperature. It says it's 26 degrees in here. So it's taken quite a while. I mean, it depends on how thick your stack of paper is gonna be. So I'm just dipping in the English breakfast tea. And then I'll just lay it flat. It does actually look a lot darker already, I think, than the orange Pico, just paper color-wise. And then I'll just take that and I'm just gonna drip some more color so it covers it. Alright, so now it's pretty full just because I folded it up a bunch. I'm going to do an envelope, but I'm going to make sure I lay it flat just so that if there's any adhesive, it doesn't stick together. Alright, so you can see the corners. I don't really want to touch it too much, but every kind of corner has some tea still in there, so I'll put it by the fire and then we'll just wait until it dries. Alright, so I was able to dump out some of the tea water. I needed 2 hands though, so now it's going to be by the fire and I'll just let it dry. I kind of rotate it. It's just so that every sides can be dry, and then might take 2 days, I don't know, we'll see. So this is the second full day, so you can see it's gotten dry, some of it. The very top part, I say, would be more dry. Oh, the bottom parts are getting there. I might take out some of the paper that's dry, and then we'll iron it out just to see what it looks like, and then that might help the other papers get dry and below. So this is the sheet from the orange Pico tea, so it's all crumpled up. So I'm just gonna take iron to it. I don't want any steam. Just gonna iron it out. So that looks pretty neat. It's a little bit crinkly. It's still got a lot of texture, so that's from crumpling it up. Here's one that was folded. This is a tea stain from the English breakfast pile compared to the orange Pico. I would say it's definitely dark, but I would still say they're quite dark even with the edges around. So some of the envelopes did stick together and I had to rip them off. So I probably won't do that again of having so many envelopes with stickiness on them. But they're definitely more tea stained, I would say, than the orange Pico. Alright, so I just wanted to show you in natural light. This is the orange Pico. You can see that there's designs on it from the stencils. These are the English breakfasts. And so they're a lot more darker, you can tell, the overall stained. So just a different look, much more tinted. These ones were all just folded. The other ones that have the designs on them are still quite wet because they were further down. So definitely a different result. Alright, so these are the ones that had the stencils on it. You can see they came out really well. It did take a while, just depending on the temperature of your house, how many papers you put in, how much tea you're putting in. It took definitely 3 or 4 days by the fire, maybe even longer. And then these are the ones that I have not ironed yet. And then compare it to, this is how we started with, this dark white. These are the orange Pico, so fairly light. Definitely the plants and things came through, but not as dark as the English breakfast tea. So they all turned out really great, very different looks that they are going for, but they worked wonderful. So I hope you found that helpful. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!